Hi, my name is Emily Iannelli, and I went out to see a movie by myself, of course. And I have many issues, I guess is the best way to say it. And I don't mean to be downtrodden in my videos. That is not my intention. In fact, I want to do videos where I'm more happy-go-lucky. But when you're fearing things that are out of your control, you try to forget and keep your mind off of that. So I went to the movies and I saw Baby Driver. I saw that movie now about 4 times. I'm not wasting my money by going to these movies, even if I see them 4 or 5 times, because what I'm doing is I'm escaping what is bothering me. I have had a very difficult 2 months, 3 months. I had to go to say goodbye to my 26-year-old nephew. That was very difficult emotionally. He served in the Marine Corps, and I guess he struggled with post-traumatic stress disorder, and he unfortunately got into alcohol and drugs that was his escape, I guess you could say. My escape is movies. I enjoy going out, even if it's only by myself. It gives me some form of power that I still can do some things. I can't work anymore, and I feel sometimes like it's very frustrating because I have the knowledge, I have the talent, I have the skills, but my mindset is not good. I have severe mental issues. I have bipolar disorder, which is very hard to explain to people. It's not just feeling like you're depressed and then you bounce out of it. Bipolar disorder is a mental illness that affects people in ways where they can feel very good, excited, euphoric, one moment, one day, 1 week, and then the next moment, day, or week, they feel like they are at the bottom of the rails, that their life has no meaning, that they want to die, they have no drive, no purpose. They don't want to get up in the morning. My life mirrors that existence, and I try my best to focus on positivity. I try to look to the bright side of things, but when you feel like your life is going out of control, or you feel like there's nobody there to support you or help you, you feel abandoned. And that's how I feel. I have some good friends who are there for me. I have my family, but sometimes I still feel abandoned. I also rely on a fixed income of long-term disability with the AICPA and Social Security disability based on my work record of 35 years and Medicare. I am currently worried not only about the fate of my Social Security disability, because we have Republicans who want to slash our benefits for the disabled, but I'm also worried about the continuation of my long-term disability benefits with the AICPA. They're a corporation. They're an insurance company. They make decisions. I am disabled. I know that. They don't interview me. I have phone calls with them, or my representative, my case manager, but they don't see my face. But they do request my medical records, and my medical records should prove that I am indeed disabled and that I'm struggling with bipolar disorder and depression and social anxiety and mental illness and gender dysphoria. And I am now sitting on pins and needles for the next 2 weeks, hoping and praying that my long-term disability is going to continue. Currently, it's set to terminate in August of this year. However, the contractual period for my disability goes through December 31st of 2026. So in theory, I should be paid out until that term. But my fate lies in the hands of the board of directors at this insurance company. They don't know me personally. They only know me as a number, as a person with an illness that they determine if I can remain on disability. My doctor, my therapist have assured me that they were providing my medical records as quickly as possible, which they did. So they believe that I should have no problems with my continuation of benefits. However, I am a worrier, just like my mother was. I'm the one who does all the financial planning. I'm the one who pays all the bills. I pay the mortgage. I pay all of the household expenses. My long-term disability goes directly to the mortgage. It comes in the bank and it goes out to the mortgage company. My Social Security disability comes into the bank and it goes out to pay all my household expenses, like my utilities, my water, my cable, my telephone, my car insurance, my wife's car insurance, my credit card bills, my hospital bills, food, my subscriptions to like Netflix, and some of my social media for my music. And before you know it, all that money is spent. and I also spend for clothing, and for my son for his school supplies, and trying to get him nicer clothes to dress, because he only likes to wear pull-up sweatpants and t-shirts. And I'd much rather see him dressing more suitable for an 18-year-old young man, especially if he wants to meet girls and make friends. My son is autistic. He also relies on my Social Security disability, but he's graduated from school. So now I have to make sure my wife takes care of him by getting him on Social Security disability for himself as an autistic adult based on my work record of 35 years. I had to call the suicide hotline tonight because I have been constantly worrying about the future. And I spoke at length about the family history of suicide. I spoke about my nephew who died 3 months in April. I just lost a friend last week. He died. I went to his wake and funeral. And I am really stressing out. I want to not have to stress out. I want to feel at peace. I can't live wondering if my disability is going to continue. I can't work. I take medication that affects my abilities. I have to take my medication regularly and on a 3 times a day basis, which makes me sleepy. I also have to see my doctors, my psychiatrist, my therapist, and my doctors that are treating me for my transgender transition. I have a big surgery coming up in October. I have a procedure being done for lipo removal in August. And I am hoping and praying that my long-term disability will continue and that my Social Security disability will stay the same or go up and not be drastically reduced or terminated. I don't care for our current administration. I don't like our president. I don't like the Republicans. I don't like their agenda. I am afraid of them and what they can do. They don't seem to care about people like us who are disabled, who struggle. They want to cut benefits for the ones who are disabled while making the rich pay less taxes. They don't even consider eliminating the cap on Social Security so the rich would pay their fair share of 6.2% on their $1 million salaries. No, they insist that the cap remain and they pay 6.2% of the cap, which is only a fraction of what they're truly earning, while we pay 6.2%, the maximum on our hard-earned wages, and yet we're the ones that are going to suffer if they decide to take away our benefits. And that, to me, is outrageous, criminal, and it should not even be a consideration. And I hope to God that they will be fought tooth and nail, and that will not be approved. Because there are so many people in my situation who are disabled legitimately and cannot work. And for them to make such a selfish decision would be their undoing, because they will have ultimate tyranny in our country. Another reason why I called the suicide hotline was because I was flagged on my Facebook page that there were people concerned about some of my posts. And I appreciate that there are people caring and looking after me to the point where they bring it to Facebook's attention. And I am appreciative of Facebook for letting me know that they care and that there are resources out there to call. However, the suicide number that they provide is not the best number to call. The best number to call is the National Suicide Hotline, which is a different number than the number Facebook has given me. Because the number that Facebook gave me was not conducting business. They said it was after hours. So if you're calling a suicide hotline because you're in a crisis, you don't want to call a number that says that they are closed. You need to call a 24-hour suicide hotline. So I Googled one, and I got the National Suicide Prevention Hotline, and they're open 24 hours. There may be a little bit of a wait, because I did have to wait, and that could be a bit distressing too, because you don't want to have to wait, especially if you're in a crisis and your life hangs in the balance, and it could be a matter of seconds, minutes, and you don't want to be in jeopardy because the line is busy. I know that the caseworkers are handling many calls that come in, so it's not their fault, and people need to talk, and it's not their fault. I talked, and I talked for roughly 45 minutes because I needed to talk. I needed to speak to someone about my situation, my fears, my anxieties, my concerns. I have many, and I'm no different than you or anybody else. And I can't help that I'm disabled. I can't help that I can no longer function as a CPA. I can't help that I'm transgender. I can't help that I have bipolar disorder. I can't help that I have depression. I can't help that I have threatened suicide in the past. I can't help that I've attempted suicide. I cannot help the way I am. It is what it is, and I cannot change that. The only thing I can do is to continue doing what I'm doing, taking my medications, going to my doctors, and hoping and praying that my stream of income will stay the same without any worrying about it being terminated. Otherwise, that could indeed lead to my suicide, which I would not want to happen, because I have my son in my life who I truly care about, and I know he needs me and I need him, and I want to live as a transgender woman and have that surgery. That is my dream. Thank you.